as a rule, we make lots of mistakes, because we do not rightly hear or interpret the Word or the Spirit. But of this you may be assured, no harm will be done. Never fear to make a mistake. Never. Never be afraid to make a mistake, because it will correct it before any great harm is done. Never. Obey your highest impulse, and then if for any reason it turns out that you've misinterpreted it, it will correct it before any damage can be done. Well, that is the part that concerns the letter of truth. That is one half of our message. The other half of our message concerns the spirit of truth, or the conscience. And it is this second half which accounts for whatever measure of success comes into our life through this message. The first half only leads to the second. It's the second half that really brings the success. In other words, now that we know, I'm assuming now, I'm going ahead a year from now, and I'm assuming that we now know that there's only one power, and so that there's no use of going to God to get him to do something. Whatever God's going to do, he's already doing, and we just leave him do it. We know now that there's only one power, and we know also there's only one law. So we've lost all fear now of material law, mental law, even legal law, because we have complete confidence now in spirit. God as the lawgiver and the law. And we have learned too in this year that Christ is individual identity, yours and mine, his and hers, saint and sinner, so that we have learned in this year to consciously look about us in our families, in our marketing, in our shopping, in our business life, in our professional life, and learn not to judge people by what they appear to be outwardly, but to have a secret place within us wherein we look at each other and realize, just think, there is divinity. There is the very Christ of God. Sitting behind those eyes is the very Christ of God. The soul of God looks right out from those eyes. Never bear false witness against thy neighbor. And any time you say your neighbor is a human being, even a good one or a healthy one or a wealthy one, you are bearing false witness. You are only bearing witness to truth when you say of your neighbor, he is the son of God, or she is the daughter of God, the child of God, and we are of the household of God, all one, heirs, joint heirs with Christ and God. Then are you bearing witness to spiritual truth, and you will find that it will take less than 1 week for the people of this world to change their attitude towards you. The very moment that you stop seeing people as human beings and have a feeling inside of you, oh, this one is hasty and temperamental, or oh, this one is never polite or considerate, and oh, this one is always this or that. The moment you give that up and abide in the realization that the soul of God looks out of every pair of eyes, it will be less than a week until you will find people responding to you in a different way. The tradespeople in the stores, the customers you do business with, the people that you contact in your profession or art or home, all of this will be different when you are not seeing them as male or female, as good or bad, as rich or poor, high or low, when you are witnessing each as the Christ of God. Even animals will respond to it, and the minute you appear, they'll come running right up to you, knowing you're going to pat them. They know that right away because they have felt that in you. Animals and children feel it more quickly than adults, because adults, as a rule, have a mental guard up, and it's hard to get behind that. Everyone has a mental wall up and saying, this is mine, don't come too close. But children and animals do not have that. So the moment you look at them and see the soul of God shining through, they feel it and they come running right up to you for the petting that they know they're going to get. Do you see? We are a little bit afraid of people treating us kindly, wondering why they're doing it or what they expect to get. That is not the normal, natural, spiritual way. The spiritual way is to expect everyone to cooperate with us, to love us, to become one with us, to fraternize with us, and not for any purpose, just because we are heirs of God, joint heirs with Christ and God, all one. Now, when we have gone through a year of that type of consciously knowing the truth, remember, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. When you consciously know this truth, that God is the soul looking through every eye, when you consciously know the truth, that God is the only power, the only presence, the only law, the only substance, the only reality, when you consciously know the truth, that all of these negative things are not powers, are not controllers. Then you pass to the next step, when with that as a foundation, you live in and through the Spirit. And that takes itself in this form. At this very moment, I have not a desire in the world. I do not have a want. I do not have a need of any kind. At this very moment, I am completely fulfilled. That is, I have a healthy body and a healthy mind, and I have enough money to last me till tomorrow, and I'm in a comfortable room, and I'm with friends. So at this very moment, my life is complete. It is perfect. Nothing could be added to it. I wouldn't know what even to pray for that could add to the fullness of my life at this minute. You see that? That is where I am at this minute. I am completely fulfilled in God. Now then, where do I go from here? I'll tell you where I go from here. Before I leave this room, we will have a meditation. And what will be the object of the meditation? Since there's nothing that I want, nothing that I need, nothing that I require, nothing that I desire, and nothing that even God could add. There's only one thing that I meditate, and that's a continuity of that feeling of the presence of God. All I want is that when I leave the room, I leave here, when I leave this house or home, when I leave here, that I leave with the feeling that God goes with me. That's all. I ask nothing more. Give me that, and I've got all the rest, because if God's going with me, there'll be no accidents on the highway. God is my protection. God is my safe. God is my security. If God goes with me, there'll be no lack tomorrow, because God is the multiplier of loaves and fishes. God is the multiplier of my talents or abilities. God is that which is to draw to me, make the crooked places straight as I travel. God it is that is at this very moment arranging the next classwork, not only who's to be there, but what's to be said. All that is taking place as long as I have God here with me. Do you see that? And that's all I need. Give me God, and you can have the rest. And that's no favor to you. Believe me, there's only one thing that should ever concern anybody on the face of the globe from infancy to maturity. And that is, am I sure that God is with me? How can I know? Sooner or later the feeling will come. Oh, it'll come with a deep breath, or it'll come with a realization, or it'll come with a weight falling off the shoulders, or it'll come with a passage of scripture, or it'll come with a touch on the shoulder. God will find some way to let you know that He's closer to you than breathing and nearer than hands and feet, and that's the only demonstration you want. You don't want a thing beyond that, because with that, all things are added unto you. With that, the presence of God goes before you to make the crooked places straight. The presence of God is the wine, the meat, the water, the bread unto your experience. The presence of God is the healing Christ. The presence of God is the multiplier of loaves and fish. Do you see that? If you have God, then you can have manna fall from the sky if there's no other way to get it. Or you could get gold out of a fish's mouth. Mr. Rickenbacker was stranded in mid-Pacific in a rubber boat with 6 companions, and there wasn't a cloud in the sky, and there was no fishing line on the boat, and no gun on the boat, and yet they had fish, and they had birds, and they had fresh water every day. Sounds impossible, but the fishes jumped up out of the sea into their little rubber boat, and the birds came and sat on Mr. Rickenbacker's head, and he just reached up, said, here you are, here's something to eat. They had birds every day. Didn't have to go out and catch them. Didn't have to jump in the water and catch fish. Just sit there, and they jump. Why? Mr. Rickenbacker has been taught, not through the infinite way, but he has been taught the secret of where I am God. So Mr. Rickenbacker just has learned to sit back there and let God be God to him. So when he needs healing, he gets healing. And when he needs food, he gets food. Of course, Mr. Rickenbacker could afford to buy it, but not in the middle of the Pacific, because they don't take money. So you have to have a different currency out there. Do you see that? You know it, because you have had experiences here in recent years where you know that there was a different currency than money. Loads of times when your money wouldn't have helped you if you'd have had it in barrels full. There's a different currency under different circumstances, but God is the substance of that currency. And if it has to be gold, it'll be gold. If it has to be birds, it'll be birds. If it has to be fish, it'll be fish. If it has to be safety or security, it will be that. But God is the substance of it. Not saying that. No. There is the difference in this matter. You can't go to church on Sunday and hear this given in a sermon and then go out and experience. You can't go to a class and hear it said and then think it's going to happen. No, you still have the demonstration of your own to make, and that is the actual experience. It says here, you have built up in yourself this confidence in God as omnipresent, this confidence in God as the only power, this confidence of God shining through every pair of eyes. Then you are ready in your meditation for an actual experience, and it can come in 100 different ways. Not only that no two people experience it alike, but even the same person doesn't experience it twice. It can come once with just a deep breath like that. The next time it may come with some passage from Scripture. You may actually hear the Master say, well, I never left you, and I never will. I'll be with you till the end of the world. And then all your troubles will fall away. Or it may be that your shoulders will drop, all the weight goes off them, and you go back and say, oh, why didn't I know that before? Know what before? Well, I don't know, just that. It isn't things that you can put in words. It isn't things that you can describe. They're just experiences that come, and when they come, you know it was God that was. And then that's all you have to be convinced. Now go out and tend to your business. Now go out and tend to your housework. Now do anything you like, because the Father within me. He's a consciously realized Father. One of our lessons we have called this realized Christ. When you have realized Christ, when you have felt that actual present power of God as every mystic, then your whole world is taken care of. And you can say with Paul, I live, yet not I. Christ is doing this. Christ brings you together for me to talk to. So it is a question of an actual God contact. When that contact takes place, then it goes before us, prepares the way, gives us everything necessary to our experience, provides us with script or purse or whatever is needed on the journey, and actually it is our bread, our meat, our wine, our water, all of the way along. The temple, not made with hands, eternal in the heaven, is yours when you have its creator, its substance, God. So God must be realized. And therefore, meditation is our major secret. Because in meditation, in that inner quietness, is when this realization of God's presence comes to you. And once that's felt, then you go out in life and live your regular life the way it is meant for you to live it. Only now you have this assurance, I am with thee, and I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. Whithersoever thou goest, I will go, and I will be all things unto thee.